nearly had to bow out of the top-rated series after a third stroke at the end of June. But he's okay. He's here, and you're more than okay, Bill.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm able to walk now, which is wonderful. I've got these pot legs.
Yeah, you've got
which are wonderful
supports up the back of your
they're
leg
called
there.
splints, and without these, I mean, it would be difficult. But they fitted me with these at the General Hospital in Leicester, and it's been wonderful. I never, when it actually happened, I never thought I'd be able to walk again. But these have really made it possible.
And it happened when you were working.
Yeah, I was halfway through episode 8, which is actually being shown as episode 10 because it's a Christmas one. So they're showing the first 7 I was in. Then there's a break of 2, and then the Christmas one, and then after that, I think I'm out of it then.
You see, I think that's such an inspiration to anyone who's had a stroke, and it can be so debilitating for people. I mean, you've had 3. But do doctors and whatever not say to you, Bill, you're 72, you know, come on, call it a day, take it easy?
Well, not really, because the consultant, Tom Robinson at Leicester, said to me, it's better for you to work. Because he said, this isn't stress-related. There's nothing like that. It's just arterial sclerosis, you know, the furring up of the arteries, and it can happen to anyone. And the thing is, I've been very lucky because it hasn't affected my speech. And I mean, I've seen so many people in the hospital who were worse off than me. Their faces had dropped, and also it hasn't happened to me. And actually, Tom said, he said, I think the reason is that the only thing that's really had any exercise over the years is your mouth.
well, let's see your mouth having some of that exercise. Here's a sneak preview from Sunday's Heartbeat.
£50 enough?
50 quid. You are on.
It's a pleasure doing business with you, Claude.
Let's hope you say that when the race is over.
You won't let me down, I'm sure. You've got a kind face, Claude.
Have I? That's a first.
But Bill, what's the reaction when something like this happens to you? Do you now sit and wait in fear of the next stroke? Or does it not enter your head? I mean, you must be on constant medication.
Yes, I am, but the thing is that, I mean, I'm 72 now anyway, and I should be well retired. But, I mean, the job is so easy. The job of acting in a drama is so simple. I mean, you know, it's stealing money. I've always said that. The only difficulty I found was that I was never away from it because of all the rewriting I had to do, and was encouraged to do by the directors and the producers. And it's never away from you. I used to go down to see my son in the south of France, and when I was down there for 2 days, I wanted to get back and get on with the job. But now I just came back after a month there, and I really didn't want to come back.
So you become Greengrass, you become Claude. I mean, you live and breathe, and what would he do in this particular instance, and you develop the character.
Absolutely. I mean, you get the outline, and then you think, all right, now we've got to put in some funny lines, make him humorous, and then you have to try the lines out and get the rhythms right and things like that.
But he's the easy option then, you're saying to me at the end of the day, but you still want to push yourself, you want to do other things.
Oh yeah, well basically I am currently now out of work because they've nearly finished Heartbeat. And I was going back into it, but I've been waiting for the scripts to arrive, which haven't arrived, to see how I was being brought back as to whether I wanted to do it anymore. But now, as I say, it's nearly all over, and I'm currently unemployed. I mean, I don't know about Charlie's Angels. I don't think I'd get in the frock.
You'd be a good Charlie, though. You don't have to see him. That's a great part. That's what you want. But as you said, when you look back at that career, how old were you when you began acting? Because you've done big screen, you've done the small screen, you've done the stage, you've got that fantastic voice, which very Falstaffian, Shakespearean, whatever.
Which was my last stage role, actually. I did it down in Chichester, in the Merry Wives of Windsor, and that was the last thing. I know I started as a turn when I was 8 years old, but that was a kid on the clubs. I mean, I was in drag by the time I was 9, singing a song called I'm Knitting a Singlet for Cecil.
And it had no long-term effect on you.
Thank goodness. Yeah, and then I went into radio and television and all of that. And in 1957, I decided to opt out of television and go to learn to be an actor. And I started off doing plays in 1957. And then I did stage plays for about 10 or 12 years, mostly at the Nottingham Playhouse. And then came back as a dramatic actor, but then got a role in The Life of Riley, which was a sitcom for Granada. That jumped to #1 in the network ratings. I was back being a comic again.
Have you been there, done it, got the T-shirt, or do you look at the profession and there are people who inspire you, or you think that fella or girl is just the business?
Well, I was actually in it, of course, when people didn't even wear T-shirts. But I mean, people inspired me, of course they did. I mean, one of my greatest inspirations was Max Wall, who I just adored the man.
The funny walk.
Not just the funny walks. I mean, he was like most stand-up comics.
Yeah.
And you can name Robbie Coltrane and Billy Connolly, and there's millions of stand-up comics who become actors. And he did the same thing, and he was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And if there was a person who was an inspiration to me, it was Max Wall.
Well, you're an inspiration to many, as I say, certainly people who have had strokes. You've been there, you've done it, you've got the T-shirt for that, with the help of the plastic legs. And
don't forget the pot legs.
Don't forget the pot legs. Great seeing you, Bill. Keep in good health. Look after yourself. And
thanks a lot.
Hope we're talking next time about your new project. Okay?
And I am wanting work.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
There you are. An advert for pensioners everywhere. Okay, Bill Maynard, thank you very much indeed.
Looking very well. That's about it from us.